All right, we're going to do the second of these Qigong book club, or book club Qigong, I think I'm calling them, little videos. And this time we're going to play with a book, part of a book called Chinese Boxing Masters and Methods by Robert W. Smith. This is published by Blue Snake Books. It's a wonderful little book that I don't know how many years ago I read it, a handful of years ago, when I was asked to read it by one of my main Qigong teachers, Ken Cohen, when I was part of his teacher training program. And it was a wonderful teacher training program and a damn fine little book I was asked to read. So in this book, Robert W. Smith talks about a lot of martial artists that he encountered on his travels. I think it was from the 50s and 60s. It's been a long time since I read the book, but he encountered all these wonderful teachers and martial artists. And here, this is a chapter on a teacher he encountered named Hùnyuán. And I'm just going to begin reading part of this, a couple paragraphs to you, and then we'll do a little bit of practice. This is from page 49 and 50. I'll just read you parts of this. So Robert Smith writes, I had always favored going outside an opponent's arms and blocking inward, but he, I think he's talking about Wang Yan here, felt that the attacker could get a purchase on you even in this outside position. Block, however, is the wrong word. Rather than blocking, his arms were always lightly absorbing or detecting, like an antenna. His pushing theory, push hands they're talking about here, was to put his arms out. You were safe as long as you did not come within this area. If you did, he would push you out. Coming out of this internal system was an astounding, paradoxical thing, whereas contraction and tension occur automatically in frightening or dangerous situations, and a person need only control the extent of the reaction. Wang advised that it is better if relaxation is sustained throughout these moments. If attacked, a relaxed person moves quickly, he said. Manifestly, this reaction has to be a matter of degree. It is never complete. The muscles must have tonus to survive, and muscular reaction can be achieved only by methodical exercise, preeminently as in Taiji, and then he references a figure in the book. This is not exclusively an Asian idea. Hang with me, I'm going to read, I think, another paragraph to you. So this is not exclusively an Asian idea. B.F. Boitendick, I believe that's how you pronounce it, German name, I believe, in Pain, I assume a book this is, stated that methodical exercise is the only way to arrive at the desired active relaxation. He cites the work of Edmund Jacobson and Johann H. Schultz on systematic muscle relaxation. And then there's a long parenthetical remark. The latter's particularly is of considerable value. Called autogenics, its current key figure is Dr. Wolfgang Luther of Montreal. As a technique merging mind and body, I rate it considerably higher than the methods of current saviors of encounter groups, Lowen W. Reich, I think it's Wolfgang Reich, and I. Rolf. That's the end of the parenthetical. Boitendick states that the sensation of pain is possible only where there's an involuntary tendency to resist within one. By asserting through relaxation dominance over the psychic center, for which read Dantian, that's a parenthetical in the text, which is the seat of involuntary awareness, the will is able to do what the mind formerly cannot. It can influence the tendency to resist to such an extent that the sensation of pain is not felt. Thus, relaxation causes pain to disappear. Bear with me one more sentence. Medical work on this problem in the United States supports this contention. I'm sorry, two more sentences. Here's the last one. Dr. Kenneth Gardner, the psychiatrist, has stated that out of all the complexity involved in researching this sphere, one unvarying fact has emerged. Deep muscle relaxation is incompatible with anxiety. I'm not going to say much about that. I just kind of wanted to read it, sharing with you little things that I've dog-eared over the years. This, again, is from Chinese Boxing Masters and Methods by Robert W. Smith. I'll put the link to the book or some information about it in the text. Let's do a little bit of relaxation practice. And we'll do the same thing we did for the last video. We're just going to do a little bit of what I call stirring the pot, which is a variation of a practice that my teacher Ken Cohen calls washing the bowl, which is out of the Hunyuan Qigong system, as I It's actually out of the basic or the intro version of the Hunyuan Qigong practice that I learned from Ken Cohen. So for this, you can begin either side, but if you're mirroring me, have your right foot forward, your left foot back. You take kind of like a bow stance. It doesn't have to be too precise. It can be a bit more narrow than mine. It can be wider and lower if you want. But imagine there's a big bowl in front of you, and the bowl is such that the liquid in it, you can think of it as water, you can think of it as golden elixir, maybe it's soup, maybe it's, I don't know, some kind of chocolate mix. It's about the height of your navel. So you're going to dip your hands in it, and you're going to begin to stir. And as you stir, as you look down at your hands, if your right foot is forward, your hands are going clockwise. And you're just stirring like so. You're going to shift the hips a little bit forward as your hands go from left to right, if you're mirroring me. And you shift the way back as your hands go from right to left. And you just stir this stuff. And it's a simple little practice. You might look like a weirdo when you do it, but you bust this out, and in the aisle of Whole Foods, everyone thinks you're cool. So you just stir. A little bit of shifting, let the rhythm of your breath be natural. It's a variation of a kind of silk rilling practice. You can just stirring the pot. And as you do so, just this time, just kind of focus on sensations on your hands and fingers as you stir. And here, maybe let your hips initiate the movement. And all the rest of the body kind of leading up through the chest and the shoulders, and then down the arms to the wrists and the hands and the fingers. Just let that kind of be flowing behind. Just stirring the pot. All that stuff about relaxation. I don't know about relaxing under the pain or relaxing to get through the pain. I like the idea, and sometimes I notice that in my own experience, but sometimes stuff just hurts. Maybe, well, I have more practice to do, I suppose. Sometimes you need a Tylenol, though. All right. I'm going to switch. So if you're mirroring me, your right foot is planted in the back. Step out and forward with the left. And this time you're stirring as you look down. If you're mirroring me, your hands are going counterclockwise. And you shift forward, the hands go from your right over to your left. And as you shift back from your left over to the right. Now the practice that I base this on, this is from a small move from the intro or basic Hunyuan Qigong practice, as I learned it from Ken Cohen. All mistakes are my own. But as he taught it to me, as your hands are forward, your palms are out, you're wiping the inside of the bowl furthest away from you. And then you turn the hands, you're wiping the outside of the bowl closest to you. He called it washing the bowl. And that's cool. I like to do it that way. But you also, at least for my purposes, can just kind of stir. And just stir the pot. And here, let the hips lead the way. Kind of imagine it kind of flows up and out through the hands. So the hands are kind of flowing just a little bit behind. Like there's some inertia and the hands are kind of dragging behind. Maybe because the elixir you're stirring is starting to thicken. Or maybe just because you're moving the hands that way. So you're stirring the pot. I think there's chickens in the neighbor's yard across the way. I don't know if you could hear that, but I could. All right, so we're stirring. And then you could keep doing that, but I'm going to close it off. So bring the feet about shoulder width apart, give or take. It can be parallel here, and you're going to bring the hands up. We're going to lower the chi 3 times, down to the height of the navel. 1. And when they get down to the height of the navel, turn the hands towards your navel. so that the palms are turned to the navel. The Lao Gong point, the center of each palm is aimed at the navel. We'll do it again. Coming up, lower down. And then a third time, bring it down. And in the Hunyuan Qigong style, the invitation is for women to place the left or the yin hand against the body, cover it with the right. And for men, it's to place the right or the yang hand against the body, cover it with the left. It's a little bit unusual for women to be invited to place whatever's considered the yin hand inward, and men to be invited to place whatever the yang hand is inward, but that's how we do it here. But if you thumb your nose at stinking sex or gender norms, or you just feel better doing it the other way, or you forget, no harm will come to you. And just pause here for a moment. You can either close your eyes, you leave them kind of half open with a gentle downward glance. Just kind of notice anything arising inside the body, or at the surface of the body, or outside. And when you're ready, you can let go. You can look around and pretend nothing happened. All right, thanks.